Kind of reminds you of Steve Morris, doesn't it? Old Buick Riviera. They're cool. That's one I actually haven't heard of. I had a dune buggy similar to this for a little while. Never actually had it running though. $240Z, might be a 260. I have worked on a couple of these over the years. GTO. I actually wanted to buy a 68 as my first car. Had found one. My dad said, heck no, you're not doing that. And since I had to borrow some of the money off him to do it, it never happened. '53 Chevy. A buddy of mine's got a '53 Chevy that's sitting waiting for a little bit of attention. It's been parked for many years and wants me to help him get it back on the road. Cool old early racer. 1908 Studebaker. I got it before you got in it. Grand National. These were the hot car when I was a teenager. Conquest TSI. My first memory of one of these is my dad actually working on one and picking me up from school in it. A pretty interesting mix of cars in this row. Buick GS. '69 Camaro. My dad had one of them and gave it to my brother as his first car. Said it was just a basic 6-cylinder, 3 on the tree car. And my dad used to race a '69 Chevelle. And it was short track racing, so it was just the body pretty much. We had it for several years, won a lot of races with it. when we come to my dream car when I was in high school. So if I wanted mine to be blue. Corvette section here. Like probably a Corvette club. My dad had a 59. That's a 62. He was a terror on the streets. Had one of these, except it wasn't a WS6 car, but it was the, I can't remember the name of the color, but it was that dark metallic blue that's so rare on these things. Actually, the engine that I've got for my MGB is actually the LS1 out of a 2002 Trans Am with the 6-speed behind it. Mazda B series truck. Just don't see much of these around anymore, at least around where I live. This reminds me when I was in the mini-truckin scene back in the early 90s with a S-series truck. Beautiful Bel Air. My dad's first new car, and actually only new car until a Honda that he bought as his last car, was a Nova, Chevy 2 Nova SS 327. Beautiful paint.
Just go off the line.
boss at the fabrication shop I used to work at had a 54. Well, I know he still got it, but it's the 54 was like a 1 year only unpainted grill. This one's a 49. Actually, I brought home I think a 49 to 51 panel van at one time for parts. I think stuff like this is pretty cool. Look at this. You got a old chart of probably approximate towing rates, depending on where you are in the country. Probably for where he was at. '33 Plymouth. And it is a beautiful car, and I really like that collar. And I really like how tastefully done the interior is. It doesn't feel overdone. '61 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud. It would be easy to go over the top on this one, but I think they actually kept it pretty tasteful, even though it is a custom. Kind of the old school traditional rod with a bit of a modern touch. As the sign says, this one's quite impressive. As a body man and as one who has painted several cars whose one chose, the bodywork on this car is quite impressive. And to do it in black. Lot of hours in this car just to get the paint right. Of course, this car won the Riddler Award, so yeah, it does have the pedigree as being an awesome car. Old Henry J. Those were quite popular drag cars back in the day, and they still make pretty popular nostalgic drag cars. This one's pretty nice. Of course, this show is brought to you by O'Reilly. I worked there for a couple of years. I was working there just as I started my old YouTube channel. Another old school, traditional style rod. There's a couple of modern touches here and there on it. Oh, if you can see that metal flake coming out in it. Not real heavy, but it's there. That's a 48 Ford. Got a 58 Beetle here. Now we do have a 71 Super Beetle within the fleet. Of course, we got the old classic T-bucket here. My uncle had a T-bucket that he used to show on the World of Wheels circuit back in the late 70s, called the Penny Arcade. I don't think I have any pictures of it, but that is a beautiful red on this one. A C3 Corvette here. I do have a friend with a 68 Stingray in Hugger Orange that has been sitting now for quite some time. He had a little noise in the rear suspension that he was going to bring it out to me to have me take a look at it. Never got it out to me, and life got in the way, and now it's been sitting for several years hasn't moved. But to try to talk him into getting that thing out, getting it over to my place to get it up and running for him. There's a nicely restored goat. The Judge even. Seems like you see the Judge most likely in orange or white. It's nice to see a color like this. Mach 1 428 covered jet. And we got a Hearst 442 rack there. And then another Hearst 442. This place is packed, and it is really hard to film these cars today. You cannot get a good view of cars without people just walking right into you and walking over you and walking right in front of you. But we're trying our best. My brother's second car was a Vega wagon, and then he's had another one since then, so he has a bit of a soft spot for these. And yes, he's always engine swapped them. One had a Buick V6 in it, and the other one had a small block. Here's a car you definitely don't see every day. Those were even pretty rare to see on the road when they were new. Subaru SVX. And we got the old Skyline here. These were never officially imported to the States, but they're getting more and more popular here, but they are quite expensive anymore. '52 Mac B. Got an early Willys civilian version, not like the one I got. I got a '53 military M52 A1. There's a nice C10. My dad had one of these as a race car hauler for years. Of course, it wasn't nearly this nice. Matter of fact, I remember it just having a fender in the hood, unpainted fender in the hood, sat on it for years. And then he upgraded from one of those to a square body. His was a '78. He ran the race car for years, pulling behind that. These are good workhorses. I really like these trucks. Just the prices of them are getting a little out of hand, I think. I can say I do have a certain love for the less common stuff, so things like this interest me. AMC versus just a Ford or Chevy. My stepbrother had, I think it was a '71 Nova in high school, but he totaled it, unfortunately. Just a 6-cylinder automatic car, but still another '71 Nova that's gone. This is the year of Chargers that didn't seem to get nearly as much love. My brother's best friend in high school had one. The 440 6-pack in it. I don't know if it was originally a 440 6-pack, but that's what he had in it. And then I have a real soft spot for two-door wagons. I'd love to have a Pontiac, I can't remember the name of it now, but the '69 Cyclone. Not exactly a super common muscle car these days, huh? I don't think they sold in super high numbers. And this one looks pretty nice. And I don't know if that's a common color for that car or not, but every one I've ever seen They've always seemed to be white or blue or something. There's a nicely done C10. But it's not like over the top customized, so yeah, just well done. Oh yeah. And a 51 Suburban, not exactly something you see that often anymore. I'm not sure that they sold in high numbers. Now I have to say, I do like the cab overs. I have been eyeing a few of them on Marketplace here and there, so maybe someday we'll build one. So now we're coming into the British car section. But the British Car Club of Greater Cincinnati's got a nice little display here. We got a Morgan. I have worked on these. I used to have a customer that had one that I maintained for a little while. We got a TR4A here. I've been working on British cars for a long time, but I like everything. And this channel is about branching out to all the other stuff and not focusing so much on the British stuff. But British stuff will be present. We got a little Bugeye Sprite. I actually have one of them at home. That's a vintage racer, old vintage racer with logbooks that I'm going to restore at some point and hopefully put back on the track. And then much maligned Jaguar XJ. Oh, that's the 6, not the 12. So they were a little more reliable. Here we got a Triumph Stag. A lot of people in America don't even know what this is. It actually has a factory V8 in it. And it was in a single overhead cam on each side, but in the day it was fairly unreliable. But nowadays you can make them quite reliable.